Mark Zuckerberg looks very different these days. Compare 2021
I love Beat Saber.
to today.
Chill week.
Yeah, sort of.
For years, he was mocked for being robotic and emotionless.
Nice. What else is coming? Lay it on us.
There are videos with millions of views titled Mark Zuckerberg Pretending to be Human, or Why Mark Zuckerberg Talks Like a Robot.
It's because he just doesn't move his face. Look at his expressions, they're static.
Now there's a noticeable shift. Zuckerberg seems more human. And I'm not just talking about that moment during the inauguration when he was caught staring at Jeff Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez's cleavage again and again. He's grown out his curly hair, wears a gold chain, oversized t-shirts, and a $900,000 watch.
You look different. When you walked in here today, you look thicker. You look like a different guy. Your neck is bigger.
Good.
But it's not just his appearance or demeanor that's changed. He's going out of his way to praise Trump.
On a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life.
This is the same Zuckerberg who was accused of censoring conservatives, including banning Donald Trump from Facebook following the January 6th Capitol riots, who oversaw Facebook's suppression of a New York Post expose about Hunter Biden's laptop in the critical days leading up to the 2020 presidential election, a story that later turned out to be true. Facebook justified this by claiming the FBI warned about potential Russian disinformation, and who removed posts early in the pandemic suggesting COVID-19 originated from a lab in Wuhan, China, a theory now considered the most likely explanation. Mark Zuckerberg now seems to be shifting the blame for Meta's policy decisions. On Joe Rogan's podcast, he claimed the Biden administration pressured Facebook to censor content.
These people from the Biden administration would call up our team and scream at them and curse. And it's like, these documents it's all kind of out there. And basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true.
So why the change of heart? The top YouTube comment on the Rogan interview sums it up. This is what "I'm sorry, I want to be on the winning side" looks like. Much like the shifting political winds, Zuckerberg's stance appears to be changing.
The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech.
We won!
With Trump's decisive win, taking all 6 swing states and the popular vote, free speech has become a central issue. On his first day back in office, Trump signed an executive order to restore freedom of speech and end what he considers federal censorship on social media, accusing the Biden administration of having trampled free speech rights. And now, Mark Zuckerberg, the man once at the center of that very censorship, is siding with Trump.
And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
One of the biggest shifts, the end of Meta's fact-checking. A select group of news organizations has handled fact-checking on Facebook and Instagram just before Trump's first term in office. Now, Zuckerberg has turned against the very program Meta has relied on for 9 years.
I think people just felt like the fact-checkers were too biased. Not necessarily even so much in what they ruled, although sometimes I think people would disagree with that. A lot of the time, it was just what types of things they chose to even go and fact check in the first place. It just got to a point where it's just, okay, this is destroying so much trust, especially in the United States, to have this program.
Fact-checkers fired back in an open letter. Your comments suggest fact-checkers were responsible for censorship, even though Meta never gave fact-checkers the ability or authority to remove content or accounts. The reality is that Meta staff decided on how content found to be false by fact-checkers should be downranked or labeled. Meta is replacing fact-checking with a system similar to X's community notes, where the public, rather than a select group, can add context to posts that may be misleading or outright false. Meta has also scaled back its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs designed to promote inclusivity, aligning with other major corporations like Target, Ford, McDonald's, and Walmart. Meta also removed tampons from men's restrooms and transgender and non-binary themes from Messenger. This marks a significant shift for Zuckerberg, who has previously championed LGBTQ+ rights. But now his actions seem to reflect resistance to what he sees as progressive corporate culture.
I think a lot of the corporate world is like pretty culturally neutered. And I just think like having, I grew up, I have 3 sisters, no brothers. I have 3 daughters, no sons. So I'm like surrounded by girls and women like my whole life. And it's like, so I think, I don't know, the kind of masculine energy I think is good. And obviously, society has plenty of that, but I think corporate culture was really like trying to get away from it.
It would be a mistake to think that this transformation happened overnight. If you look closely, Mark Zuckerberg's evolution has been underway ever since he took up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA during the pandemic.
I think having a culture that like celebrates the aggression a bit more has its own merits that are really positive.
Zuckerberg's embrace of this rugged lifestyle also includes raising Wagyu and Angus cattle on his Hawaiian ranch.
If I'm ever done with Meta, I'm gonna run Mark's Meats.
He's feeding them a luxurious diet of beer and macadamia nuts to produce some of the highest quality beef in the world. A sharp contrast from a decade ago when he was basically a vegetarian, vowing to eat meat only from animals that he personally killed. But is this transformation a result of genuine personal growth and a change in beliefs? Or is there a more calculating motive? As a billionaire leading a massive tech empire, Zuckerberg undoubtedly has a PR team carefully shaping his public image. Do they influence his decision to make high-profile podcast appearances? Could this new Mark Zuckerberg be a calculated move to curry favor with the Trump administration? Or, in the words of Rolling Stone, to kiss Trump's ass? Could it be a way to win over conservative voters? While Facebook's user base continues to grow, its growth rate has slowed significantly over the past decade, especially among younger users. And in 2024, Meta stopped reporting Facebook's total user numbers in its quarterly earnings, instead grouping it within its family of apps. Is this a way to hide stagnation? Meanwhile, competitors like X emphasize minimal censorship, attracting audiences who feel alienated by big tech. In other words, this change isn't just about Zuckerberg, it's good for Meta's bottom line. Whether his actions reflect a calculated business decision, a personal evolution, or both, one thing is clear. He no longer looks or acts like the leader he once was. Zuckerberg recently shared in a Facebook post that Meta plans to invest up to $65 billion this year to expand its AI infrastructure. But you don't need to run a tech empire to explore the power of AI. If you like to brush up on your skills in AI, computer science, math, and data science, Brilliant makes it fun to learn interactively. One of my favorite courses is How Large Language Models Work, which gives you a behind-the-scenes look at how tools like ChatGPT are built and how they generate human-like language. If you're interested in learning how to program, Brilliant's Python courses let you start building programs on day one with their drag-and-drop editor. Brilliant's math courses are perfect for mastering algebra, calculus, and vectors, whether you're just starting out or want to improve on what you already know. The best part is you can try Brilliant for free for 30 days by signing up at brilliant.org/newsthink or scanning the QR code on your screen. That's brilliant.org/newsthink. Plus, you'll save 20% on your annual premium subscription. Thanks for watching. For Newsthink, I'm Cindy Pom.